This episode of the Gold Blooded Podcast is brought to you by mybookie.ag, mybookie.ag. Use promo code GOLDBLOOD, one word, to match up to 100% of your initial deposit.
3rd and 3. We'll see a pickup sometime on the right side, possibly. Montana looking, throwing in the end zone.
We're just getting started.
Young almost falls down, throws to the end zone. Owen!
It will change, and I'm not trying to tell you something. It's going to change. It's not like that. Okay, but I want you to understand where I'm coming from. It will change. And it will change because they wanted to change, not because of me. It will change because they want to be champions.
Smith in a gun, the throw on his left hip. 3rd down, Alex takes the snap. Alex looking, got it, post, and it's good! Touchdown, 40! Vernon Davis with the play of his life! It all comes to this 4th down. 4th and 4 at the San Francisco 10. Ryan in a shotgun. Rodgers to his left. 3 receivers right. Ryan takes the snap. Looking, pressure, throws middle. Broken up, biting. Navarro Bowman. And the 49ers silence the house.
Yo, motherfuckers, here we are. This is like fucking Christmas the night before. You're 6 years old. You've just pissed your pants for the 2nd time that night. Your mother's pissed. She's been drinking, but you don't care because you know what tomorrow's going to bring. Tomorrow, or next week, is the start of our Super Bowl run. We got a real weird situation tonight, so it's just me and Steve. Say hello, Steve.
Hello, everybody.
So Steve is literally doing Rob and Chris's job, and I'm just doing what I do. So Steve may be a little here and there this episode. I'll do the best to pick up the slack. Other than that, we're going to try to make this episode as interesting as possible, considering it's the fucking preseason still, and we know what that means and who that's for. So, no need to beat a dead horse. One quick thing before we get started here. I know Steve's dying to get into the injuries because we got a doozy to talk about. But I'm going to start the podcast by saying, hey, it's a new season. Drop us an email and let us know. Are you a new listener, an old listener? What are your thoughts on this season? Give us your predictions. goldbloodedpodcast@gmail.com. There's an Instagram, Gold Blooded Podcast. There's a Twitter. Our man Mike Hearn's running both of those. I know the Instagram is Gold Blooded Podcast. The Twitter is Gold Blooded Pod. We got to figure that out. I believe that's it, though. There's a Patreon. If you have some extra ducats, we'd appreciate it. We work hard. Pay us. Patreon / what is it?
Gold Blooded Podcast.
There you go. Get there, drop us some ducats. We appreciate it. I see them when they come in. That shit's nice.
So as Joe alluded to, I'm also in charge of the sound tonight. So if it's a little funny, then, or if it's better, it actually might be better. So make sure you let Chris know that it's better and he needs to step his game up, because right now I'm doing about 3 jobs at once.
Well, here's the deal. Here's how I know it's going to sound better. Because even though you're doing other things, you at least have to listen to the whole podcast. Chris just tunes the fuck out.
That is very accurate.
You know what I mean? So you're forced to be engaged.
We keep him on, once the season starts, though, we do a good job of keeping him on his toes. We make him write down a lot of shit and look up a lot of shit. So
just yell at him.
The season's here, Joe. I'm like bursting out of my skin.
I'm not. Well, we got a couple things to talk about here. I got to tell you, I didn't really give a fuck. In my head, I was still like watching a lot of golf and playing golf for that matter. and I really didn't give a fuck. But when you text me Sunday and said the Jimmy Garoppolo Stitch jerseys are up for sale right now,
The mystery's over.
I was like, season's here, fuck it. I jumped on it. I said, baby, I need the credit card. She goes, oh, what's going on? I said, I'm spending $150. Okay. She was like, whatever you need to do. And I got that. I got mine's going to be here. It'll be here in 2 days.
Okay, so you can wear it out when you go to watch the game. You going out to watch the game, or you staying home?
I have to watch the game on Tuesday. RG3 has a...
Oh, yeah, that's right. Like, you're really going to abide by that. All right, so let me just get right into injuries. Big one. Jerick McKinnon suffered a torn ACL while making a cut during a team workout.
$30 million disappears.
He will miss the entire season and hopefully will return next year pending a successful rehab. It's a big injury, but it's not an unreplaceable injury, whereas a lot of other positions would have been way more drastic. It just seems really bad based on what we expected him to do this year and based on what his salary was and what we had to pay to get him here is why it seems so bad. But honestly, if I had to choose any single person on the offense to get hurt for the whole year, possibly would have been my first choice, to be honest. I mean, thinking about the offensive line, obviously not Jimmy, and not any of the wide receivers. Maybe one of the wide receivers before McKinnon, but it's really not that bad. I think that as long as we got fucking Horsecock back there dancing in the pocket and going through his reads.
I think he was, they were talking what a breakout year this guy was going to have and what a key, integral part of the offense he was going to be. I know it's crazy because they do such different things, but I think the Alfred Morris pickup at least gives us a capable, competent running game. And, hopefully Matt Breida can catch out of the backfield and do what, Jet McKinnon or whatever. What's his name?
Jerick McKinnon.
Is his name Jet? Why did I...
It's his nickname.
I was going to say, why did I hear someone reference that? Okay.
I would be singing an entirely different tune right now if all we had was Matt Breida and Raheem Mostert. Alfred Morris is actually the guy behind my positive outlook. And I think that
I agree.
I think he will.
I feel good about the running game with him there after what he did in that one preseason game.
I see him getting 14, 15 touches a game.
He's gonna have to. What? So wait, we cut Joe Williams, right, or waived him?
Yeah, Joe Williams is waived, and
they're
actually
gonna try to bring him back.
He is not. They did not sign him to the practice squad, so he cleared waivers. I did a little research on my own through the article that Rob sent us because you had asked a question: what's the difference between being waived and being cut?
Right.
And I thought when you were waived, you definitely made it to the practice squad. Like, people were waiving you so that way you can go to the practice squad. But I guess any player that doesn't have at least 4 years of service, if you you have to waive them. There's no such thing as cutting a player that has less than 4 years of service in the league. So getting rid of them is waiving them. So even when they do waive them, you don't know, like, oh, they're trying to bring them back or not. I thought they were trying to bring him back on the practice squad, but apparently not because he's not on the practice squad. But then come to find out, I learned that no player can be, quote-unquote, cut without at least 4 years of service in the league.
Okay. Well, my jersey's in Memphis, Tennessee, actually.
You just checked?
Yeah.
Awesome.
It'll be here by Friday.
So
if not, it's free.
That's it for injuries. I mean, the ones that we know about, it seems like all the guys have recovered and are getting healthy at the right time. And everybody should be good to go for week one.
I have an injury update.
What's that?
I read an article on ESPN about Richard Sherman and his rehab. It was real good. I guess him and Kobe Bryant became close over the years. Did you know this?
No.
Yeah, I guess him and Kobe, it was funny because we were talking about Kobe last week, and I guess him and Kobe became close over the year, like prior to the injury. But then when he hurt the Achilles, Kobe, reached out and was like, first of all, here's some surgeons. And then after the initial surgery, he said, okay, here's some things, pointed him in the right direction, said, you got to do this, helped him with all aspects of it, the mental aspect of it, the physical aspect of it. So I gotta believe that's not a bad thing, having Kobe Bryant helping you.
No, absolutely
You know?
not. I mean, I'm sure he has the best connections in the world, and
Did
he
you?
had gone through it. So
Did you read that?
no, I didn't at all. Although I have been watching the mini documentary that's been going out about him. I think there's 2 episodes out right now about basically it's kind of like a documentary interview, and it's also been covering him throughout the steps
Kobe?
of his. No, Sherman.
Okay.
It's like first and second episodes. They're only like 7 or 8 minutes apiece.
Where are they? Where?
I saw him on the NFL Facebook account.
Okay.
Posted them, so I'm sure if you went to NFL.com,
Yeah,
you could watch them. But you know how fucked that website is trying to find anything on there.
Yeah. Okay.
So as far as injuries goes, that's about it. We did acquire tackle Sean Coleman from the Browns for a 7th-round pick. Coleman was a 3rd-round pick for Cleveland in 2016 out of Auburn. He appeared in 7 games as a rookie, and he started all 16 games in his second season at right tackle. Reportedly, he was in the mix for starting left tackle this season, and he did not win the job. But not only did he not win the job, he was also demoted to second-team right tackle. So I guess while he was trying to win the left tackle job, somebody was standing out at right tackle. So he just ended up becoming a second stringer just like that. So I don't know. I mean, it's nice to bring in a swing tackle in case Staley goes down, which did happen once last year. The guy that has a full year of experience. So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. Okay. Giddy up.
So the roster was trimmed down, obviously. The most noteworthy of cuts was guard Jonathan Cooper, who was battling for a guard spot, and he missed most of training camp, and he did not see the field until week 2 of the preseason. And his contract that he signed, which led everyone to believe that he was actually going to be a contributor or at least make the squad, was $4 million fully guaranteed. So no matter what happens, you're getting $4 million.
Who's that?
Jonathan Cooper, who did not make the team.
I didn't see. I mean, he had to go. There wasn't room.
So, I mean,
Later,
obviously, Joshua Garnett ended up winning that battle at right guard. Another noteworthy cut was edge rusher Jeremiah Tauchu. He was viewed as a new presence among our edge rushers, adding to the pile of the good but not great players we have at that position, going along with Cassius Marsh. And Eli Harold was there. Obviously, he got cut.
Who did you say was just cut?
Jeremiah Atauchu.
They cut him.
He's gone.
Woo! He was with the Chargers.
Yep.
I
So-
thought he was a shoo-in because we had to. After cutting Harold, we needed somebody there, no?
Yeah, it's very strange. It's like they decided to keep some extra linebackers to cover for the 2 games for Ruben, and
They didn't call Doom.
no, he retired actually.
No, that's because we didn't call him.
Well, yeah, I don't know what would have happened there. So I assume he retired because he didn't get any calls, and he's just like, fuck this, I'm not going to wait around for a year. I'm just going to retire and call it a career.
Giddy up.
Another notable cut was Aaron Burbridge. I mean, the talk all preseason was whether or not Burbridge's play on special teams warranted him a roster spot over the likes of Kendrick Bourne or Richie James. Obviously was not, and I think they made the right decision here. I'm pretty sure we were all simpatico with Richie James making this team.
Yeah. Agreed.
And last one was not necessarily a surprise, but still noteworthy given his history with Kyle, was wide receiver Aldrick Robinson. He had spent a number of years with Kyle. Was in, I believe, Cleveland with him, or
But again,
Washington
that
and
speaks
Atlanta.
to what you just said, though.
Yeah, Richie James making the team. So,
The 2 rookies made it, right?
yep. Well, obviously, Dante Pettis, second rounder, he's absolutely making it.
Well, you never know. I mean, crazier shit's happening. Practice
That
squad.
would be insane.
No, practice squad a guy.
Well, he would have to clear waivers. Everybody would bid on him.
Right, I guess. So.
He's
You
making
think
the team.
everybody?
Probably about 20 teams
Okay.
to get a second rounder off waivers.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I don't know the ins and the outs. What the fuck do I know?
So hopefully you did not punish yourself
Nope.
by watching the 4th preseason game. I know you didn't, Joe. I'm mainly talking to our faithful listeners here. I took one for the team. I watched it for you. And
Twice. He watched it twice.
No, actually, I only watched this one once. Condensed version. This isn't going to take long at all. But I really only paid attention to players that I knew. By the time I had gotten around to it, I knew who made the roster and who didn't. So starting out with the offense, Joshua Garnett, I still see him struggling a bit in pass protection against lesser competition, which wasn't really something that I wanted to see there. But, I mean, a total bull in the run blocking game, though. I mean, I can clearly see him playing with a sense of urgency. Like, if you compare him to all 5 of our offensive linemen and you just watch every single one of them and how they're playing, Joshua Garnett just seems to be going just that 10% more than everybody else, because I feel like he's playing for his career right now. He's his this is his 3rd year in the league. He was a first-round pick, and I feel like he's starting to feel the pressure of trying to live up to that. He was the man in college. Imagine being the man somewhere and then coming to a team and being a nobody. You know, how that would make you feel.
I mean, that happens more often than not in college to NFL, but yeah,
sure.
I hear you. That's got to be a real kick in the fucking ego dick, you know?
So I mean, that was the outcome that I think everybody wanted. Everybody wanted Joshua Garnett to not only make the team, but make it by winning the job, not just because he was a first-rounder.
I want him to be the mauling animal that I was told he is.
Yeah.
And I haven't really seen him maul anyone yet.
Everybody remembers David Shaw on draft night because he was his college coach, and he always does night 1 of the NFL draft, I believe, for ESPN. And when Joshua Garnett got picked by us, David Shaw went on and on and on for about 2 minutes about how great of a player in person he was, and the presence that he's going to bring to an offensive line, and how he's the guy that gets everybody going.
I mean, he hasn't been arrested yet, which is a good thing. So, and I mean, people seem to like him.
He's insanely smart because he went to Stanford.
Right. Well, you know, I haven't heard that, probably because he's not as dark as Richard Sherman. You know what I mean? No doubt. Yeah, I don't know. Where did Russell Wilson go to college?
He was he represents himself as Wisconsin, but he transferred to Wisconsin
from North Carolina State.
That is, I think that sounds right.
The red one?
For some reason, that sounds right. NC State. Yeah, I think it was NC State transferred to Wisconsin, and then he played Wisconsin.
Fuck him.
All right. So
what round was he picked in? The 3rd?
Wilson was a 3rd rounder. Moving on with the offense from the preseason Week 4 game. Richie James makes a big play in the 3rd quarter, a stop-and-go route, and he left his defender completely standing still. He was able to make a 25-yard grab down the sideline. Richie James makes another grab in the 4th quarter over the middle, good for 18 yards. Richie James makes another grab over the middle for a first down on a 4th down attempt in the red zone. So pretty much the highlight of our offense the entire night was Richie James.
I have a question about the game. Why did C.J. Beathard have one play?
He had, I think, 2 series.
Oh, he didn't attempt to pass, though. He just handed off, it looked like. He was 0 for 0.
I don't think he did attempt to pass at all. Huh. They were clearly trying to get the run game. I think they wanted to get Garnett going. Yeah. I think that's why they did that. Huh. But, yeah, that's about it for the offense. I will say, I don't even... What's his name? Our 4th-string quarterback. He hadn't played all preseason, but I gotta tell you, when he came in, just mechanically as a quarterback...
Oh, there was a thing about him. I read about him. Yeah, continue.
I know nothing about his background. I had no idea he was even on the team. I'd never seen his name before.
He's from the area. He's from the Bay Area. And his grandfather was like an attorney for the 49ers back in the day. Or something crazy. Like, something crazy. So it was, like, special for him to, like, be able to do that. You know, he knows he's not going anywhere, but, you know.
His presence as a quarterback and mechanics, and as far as throwing and setting his feet, looked more impressive than Mullins and Beathard. I based on my uneducated eyes, basically, is what I'm saying. That he looked like a cleaner, more tightly wound quarterback than Beathard and Nick Mullins was. But anyway, I just felt like saying that. Moving on to the defense. Solomon Thomas and Reuben Foster both ended up playing in this game, which kind of surprised just about everyone. You don't think that you would throw 2 players of that caliber out there in the 4th preseason game.
Wait, you said Reuben Foster and Solomon Thomas?
Yeah.
Well, I assumed...
Almost the entire 1st quarter.
Well, I assumed Reuben would be out there because fuck him, he's got to pay. You know, he's got to leave because he's not going to play again.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah, maybe a series or 2
I really liked the fact that they made him play.
Reuben.
Yeah.
Agreed.
You know, coming off of another game where he got another injury, the concussion, everybody just assumed that he wasn't
I'm shocked
gonna.
He was cleared.
I know, that was fast because we had the game on Saturday, and then Thursday. That's only 4 days. There's players that go 3
2
weeks.
weeks, yeah,
without
miss
getting
multiple games, yeah.
So that was good to see in my eyes. The fact that they're making him slug it out. Like, no, Ruben, you're not going to fucking miss. You're playing, you know? He needs to get into the rhythm of stringing together weeks and healthy weeks together to get rid of this bad.
What do you think about why do you think the other guy played?
Solomon?
Yeah.
He ended up missing preseason game number 2 because he got a concussion in the first week. So Shanahan just wanted to get him some more work.
A couple snaps. Yeah.
And I mean, Solomon Thomas just completely annihilated backup tight end for a run stop a few plays later, and he just completely goes around a pulling guard for a run. Like, he was. Well, it looked like him. He looked like a first round pick among a bunch of 7th round picks, which is what you want to see.
Him and Reuben Foster looked that way.
Both of them.
It was clear that they were of a different speed than everyone else. Oh, I want to say last week I referred to Reuben Foster as 5'7" when I meant to say 5'6", and I think I did it twice.
What? Oh, his number? Yeah, he's 56.
I listened back and I was like, "What the fuck am I saying?" And then I think Rob caught me because at one point he had brought up. I saw him on his screen. He had brought up a player wearing the 57 jersey, and I don't know what he was trying to get at, but whatever. Okay, you don't want to say anything else about that game, do you?
No, I mean, Reuben Foster completely blew up a developing screenplay. I mean, it's exactly what he should have done. He did. Both Solomon and Reuben did what they should have done.
Yeah.
Ronald Blair, once again, he looks elite against second and third stringers, but I have yet to see him look that way in the starting rotation. But he did end up making the team, and he was on IR pretty much all year last year. So that is still a guy to keep an eye on.
All right, so what's the next play here?
Well, ever since we started this podcast, people have been asking us for advice.
Oh, wow, you're going down that road right now.
And, usually it's what team to bet on this week. The truth is, neither one of us really know who's going to win. But if you think you know, you got to check out my bookie.
Remember, listen, friends, who you're betting on is just as important as who you're betting with. That is why I tell the people... all my people, I tell them, you go gamble with my bookie. Trust me. Why wouldn't you trust me? I'm the most trustworthy person you fucking people know.
You could lay down some cash and win big today.
Right fucking now.
All you have to do is join now, and my bookie will match your deposit dollar for dollar. But only if you use promo code GOLDBLOOD.
You like college football? You go there right now. There's games every single day of the week, you degenerates. Go to my bookie because I would only recommend a service that's been good to me.
And if you're sitting there on Saturday for the college games or this Sunday for the NFL games, they have in-game live betting and the most rewarding player perks in the business for you and all of the fantasy guys out there. You can even bet over-under on how many fantasy points a player will score each game.
Listen, join right now. Use the promo code GOLDBLOOD, one word, to activate the offer that will match your deposit dollar for dollar, my friends.
You play.
You win.
You get paid.
They fucking pay you. All right. So now what are we going to do, Steve?
Now we are going to...
Right now we're firing through shit. We got agendas. We're handling them right now. There's only two of us, so we're just going to handle this business.
I got a mystery quote.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, it's a little strange because you're not competing against anybody except for yourself.
Where's the cat? He's not even here. Oh, he's here. He's sleeping.
This is a former player talking about a current player. He has to start learning when to give those certain kind of licks and when to throw his body in there a certain kind of way.
Ronnie Lott, Reuben Foster.
No. He's not going to want to keep
Patrick
getting
Willis, Reuben Foster.
Yep. I'll finish the quote just for the listeners. He's not going to want to keep getting banged up too many times like that. So he'll wise up to some of that. But other than that, he's just going to be who he is. That is Patrick Willis regarding Reuben Foster.
How good am I?
Pretty good. I mean, I don't think it was that hard of a one. And I'm sure you knew that I kept it.
Well, yeah, once I heard that, and once I knew it wasn't Ronnie Lott, I think I knew that Patrick Willis had commented on him.
So, anyway, what's new with you, Joe? We got about a few minutes left here. Then we'll switch over to number 2.
What do you mean, number 2 what?
Episode number 2.
Well, we got a lot of stuff to do yet.
Okay. Well, we could get into the... Michael Curran set us up with some Madden ratings.
Yeah, let's get this out of the way here.
And
I don't know what the fuck we're looking at.
Well, what he sent us was the entire 49ers roster's Madden ratings, where he has their overall grade, their awareness, speed, acceleration, agility, strength, and he sent us a comparison sheet so that way we compare it to a few other guys that are around the league and what they're ranked. And before we hit the record button here, I went through and I just circled a few things that really stood out to me.
I have a couple too. I didn't obviously I'm not as thorough as you, but I definitely caught a couple funny things. So you give me a couple of yours, and I'll give you a couple of mine.
Well, just to start out, I think it's completely ridiculous that our top-ranked player is a guy that tore his Achilles last year.
And also tied with a guy who's been in the league for 13 years.
Richard Sherman, I mean, he's
and
got
Joe
a 90
Staley.
grade.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. Because I don't know if you know this, the Madden has also legendary players. Patrick Willis will be in there, and fucking Barry Sanders or whatever, and those guys are like 99s. Okay, so a 90 for a current player is really high.
Okay.
And I just think that's a little weird that they would be that generous with him. But I mean,
and Joe Staley as well.
Joe Staley. I mean, DeForest Buckner coming in third at an 86 when he's clearly our
best defensive player, probably the best player, other than Jimmy Garoppolo.
And just getting to Jimmy Garoppolo, he's not even in the top 5 players
on our team
as an overall grade in Madden. I can't even compute that.
Well, he's just about top 10. He's top 10. But regardless, yeah. Okay.
So I'm looking at Reuben Foster right now. He's an overall of 85. His speed is an 86, which is 3 ticks slower than Pierre Garçon. Now, if Pierre Garçon and Reuben Foster were out there and they had to run 40 yards, I would bet my entire fucking mortgage that Reuben Foster smokes Pierre Garçon in a foot race. So I think that's a little funny there.
Wait, Reuben Foster smokes who? Pierre Garçon?
Pierre Garçon in a foot race. 100%.
Wow, I don't know, dude.
And his strength of an 84, whereas Buckner is an 86. So you're telling me that DeForest Buckner is only 2 ticks stronger than Reuben Foster? I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. Reuben Foster was Patrick Willis, maybe I give him an 84, 2 ticks behind Buckner, but he's not Patrick Willis. He's Reuben Foster. He's a completely different player.
Do you love that Bradley Pinion is an 80?
I circled that. Dude, Bradley Pinion is a top 15 player for us in Madden. Like, how is that even real life? I mean, Solomon Thomas is a 78. You're going to have Bradley Pinion at an 80, but Solomon Thomas only at a 78? I guess, I don't know. I guess I hadn't compared punters or whatever, but that's just ridiculous to me.
Malcolm Smith at a 76?
Yeah. Well, he didn't play all of last year.
But neither did Richard Sherman.
Yeah, I know. That doesn't make any sense to me either. I do like the respect that they gave to Marquise Goodwin on his speed. He's got a 95. And Adrian Colbert, they showed respect where it was due. A speed of 93 and an acceleration of 94. I thought that was spot on because that's his game. He's a fast guy.
Fred Warner with an overall 71.
That's pretty generous for a third-round rookie, I think.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing, too. Look at this.
So
I was harping on Reuben Foster's 86 speed. They put Alfred Morris as an 87 speed. There's no way Alfred Morris is beating Reuben Foster in a foot race.
But is that comparative per position, do you think?
That's a good question, too. This has got to be a typo, or maybe it's actually they in the game this way, and they screwed it up and they haven't noticed. But Earl Mitchell has a speed rating of 7.
That's hot.
7.
So, just so we know, some other players here, like, overall.
I got a couple of those that made no sense.
Aqib Talib, is that how you say it?
Aqib Talib.
Overall, 89.
Less than Sherman. And Talib played all of last year.
Jared Goff. I don't know where Richard came. Jared Goff, 83.
Same as Garoppolo.
Same as Garoppolo.
And same as Derek Carr here is also an
Yeah.
83. The one that makes no sense to me is the fact that Solomon Thomas is an overall 78. Tank Carradine, who we're very familiar with, is 79. And you're going to like this one, Joe. George Kittle and Garrett Selleck. George Kittle, overall 77. Garrett Selleck, overall 76. Vance McDonald, overall 79.
Oh, come on. And what, Delaney Walker, overall 93?
That's a little insane. I mean,
What?
Delaney's good, but he's not 93.
He's been in the league since like 2002.
I know, but he's still killing it.
I know. How?
I don't know.
Remember when he got his jaw broke?
I do remember that. That happened,
Early Seahawks.
yeah, that's right.
Early Seahawks beef.
Oh, shit.
And then he left after that year. He got the fuck out of Dodge.
All right, so this week we got about enough material and people for 2 slightly shorter episodes. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this one up, and we are going to say email us for next week. We're going to have a full crew here. Rob will be back. Chris will be back. goldbloodedpodcast@gmail.com. You can show us how much you love us on patreon.com by donating to us, patreon.com/goldbloodedpodcast.
A little as $1 a month, as much as $1 billion.
Michael Curran, I know that you are going to be spewing the sewage, as Joe would say, once the season starts on the Instagram. So make sure you check out the Instagram, Gold Blooded Podcast, and the Twitter page, Gold Blooded Pod. I think that's about it. I mean, leave us some reviews on iTunes.
I'm going to hit the rig again.
Okay.
In between episodes here.
Yeah, leave us some reviews on iTunes.
Wherever you listen.
Wherever you listen.
I
Podbean.
didn't check if anybody left us after our pleading last week.
Yeah, I didn't check either. But, yeah, make sure you leave us a review on iTunes if you hadn't done that already, and we will check you on the next one. Joe, you want to send it out?
Yeah, fuck it. That was short. It was only 30 minutes.